Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. And since we are almost up to the 52nd, excuse me, since, excuse me, since we are almost up to the 52nd anniversary of the John Kennedy assassination, I figured I'd do another review on that. Well, 2 years ago, I done a review on one of my early reviews. I did a review of the JFK assassination shows, most notably the uh, Peter Jennings show, the Beyond Conspiracy, and the Who Was Lee Harvey Oswald shows. Now, I'm going to do a review on the movie that inspired those types of shows, and that is, of course, the 1991 Oliver Stone film JFK. Now, it's been a while since I've seen the whole film, sat down and saw the whole film in one sitting, but I'm going to try and get through it, the best I can. The JFK movie was, of course, directed by the conspiracy nut Oliver Stone, and of course, it's because of Platoon. I never became a really big Oliver Stone fan, but because this movie was very, very controversial, and of course, with all the conspiracy nuts, it brought up a whole new generation of these conspiracy freaks. That it was because of this movie. See, we told you it was a conspiracy to kill Kennedy. So Uh, so I want to do a whole review on that. Of course, what is wrong with what movie is plenty, and of course, I'm sure there are plenty of YouTube critics out there who has done videos or reviews saying what is wrong with the JFK movie. Because over the years, of course, all the stuff, or a lot of the stuff that was brought in, all the theories that was brought into that movie was, of course, disproven. Of course, the JFK movie itself stars Kevin Costner as New Orleans DA Jim Garrison. And of course, he's the one who actually brought a prosecution in the case of the assassination of John Kennedy. He was the only one who did. Uh, That's because the main culprit was who was Lee Harvey Oswald, who did kill Kennedy. He was killed 2 days later. Of course, and the whole movie is about him investigating the assassination, and 6 years later, prosecuted uh, Clay Shaw, who was a homosexual prominent figure in New Orleans. He prosecuted him, and of course, within 54 minutes, Clay Shaw was found not guilty because there was absolutely no proof tying him to Kennedy assassination. But Garrison thought was so dead set it was that after the verdict, he went into a rage and was went into a hissy fit in his office because it was dead set that Clay Shaw was involved. And this film, which I gave, the film JFK went over 3 hours, which is really hard to sit through. I remember how hard it was for me to sit through this movie because it was so confusing because it put in fictional scenes and all of a sudden was placed in actual real news footage, including the Zapruder film, into the film, and it was very hard because he edited so well that you couldn't tell what was the real thing and what was scenes that were filmed for the film. Now, of course, it was kind of ironic that Kevin Costner would play Jim Garrison because 3 years earlier in his breakout role as Crash Davis and Bo Durham, he had the line, "I believe that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone." So 3 years later, he played Jim Garrison, which is you know very ironic. And I'm sure the Kevin Costner fans out there blasting for it. I think they're still blasting for it to this day. Of course, with all the facts that the JFK film got wrong, of course, that Oswald fired the 3 shots in less than 6 seconds. And that line was uttered by the late Walter Matthau. Well, of course, in reality, Oswald actually took about closer to 9 seconds, like 8.6 seconds, to fire the three shots. Nowhere close to, but like 2.5 seconds longer than the Oliver Stone movie said he did. And also another thing he got wrong was the fact that with the magic bullet thing. Now the magic, because there's no way that the bullet, where the theory was made by one inspector, was able to do all the non-fatal injuries to Kennedy and Texas Governor John Connally, who was sitting in front of Kennedy, but not directly in front, like I'm sitting here, and Connally was like sitting like here, off to the side, not directly in front of Kennedy, well, not to more center, more offset, like off to the right. Kenny's like sitting here, and Connie was sitting like here. They're just off a little bit. And he was turned slightly, and so of course, if you match it up the way the injuries are and line it up properly, you could see that the second shot that Oswald fired matched up to the non-fatal injuries to both Kennedy and Texas Governor Connally. So there's no so-called magic bullet, didn't hang in the air, didn't zigzag and all that stuff. Of course, the funny thing is that in that particular scene, you had Wayne Knight, of course, is more famous for playing Newman on Seinfeld, reenacted the magic bullet scene in the boyfriend episode of Seinfeld, which of course starred Keith, which guest starred Keith, former Keith Hernandez. There was a Keith Hernandez episode. They reenacted that scene. So I thought it was great to have Wayne Knight, who was actually in that scene in JFK, reenact that scene on a parody of that scene on Seinfeld, which I thought was just a brilliant. It was one of the few things I actually liked about Seinfeld was that parody. Anyway, they also had one of the things they also got wrong was they had Donald Sutherland in there. And it was like Agent X or Mr. X. That was like a fictional character that was made. And also you had Kevin Bacon in there, who also played another fictional character. So that's the problem with the JFK movie as well, is that you had that Oliver Stone created fictional characters because for some reason he decided to make up a fictional character who gave Bannister or the Kevin Costner character, you know, more conspiracy theories of what the hell was going on. One of the few real characters that was actually used in this movie was David Ferry, who was played by Joe Pesci in the film. He was one of the few real characters that was used, and of course, before the trial, uh, David Ferry died, and of course, Jim Garrison thought that was a conspiracy theory too. I mean, he thought that everything had to do with all these conspiracy theories. And I think that the main reason why there were so many conspiracy theories surrounding Oswald is that Oswald trying to get noticed, trying to get recognition for something. And because he said that his information was porn and everything else, so he went to the Russians. But the information he gave to the Russians had already. And he liked Castro and everything else, but the Cubans didn't want him, the Russians didn't want him, the KGB didn't want him. So he figured he wanted to get some name recognition for himself, so that's why he killed Kennedy. More than anything else. But of course, Oliver Stone is a die-hard conspiracy theorist, and so is his son. Who did a few episodes of Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory show. They were so die-hard that they have conspiracy theories on conspiracy to kill Kennedy, and of course the JFK movie is a 3-hour conspiracy theory, and they have one conspiracy theory after another, and by the time they get to the trial of Clay Shore in the film, my head was just spinning with all these conspiracy theories. I was getting a headache from all that stuff because it was so ridiculous, so over the top with all these conspiracy nuts. But one thing that the movie did do, and Oliver Stone took credit for, you know, kind of like and I feel that he should have taken credit for it, was that in 1992, because of the movie and because of all the conspiracy theories that came out because of that film, the United States Congress decided to release just about all the documents, or at least agree with you know, a good chunk of the documents that the House Select Committee of Assassinations that came out in the late 70s investigating the Kennedy assassination, plus the Warren Commission stuff, on the stuff of the Warren Commission investigation as to why they feel that Oswald acted alone, and they came out with all this stuff. Uh, but all the conspiracy nuts says, okay, we see all this stuff, but we feel they're still hiding the truth. Because no matter how much stuff you bring out bring out, so okay, even if the United States government brings out every single document, declassifies everything, and say, okay, this is why we think that Oswald acted alone. Here's our investigation. Here's all the documents we came up with our investigation. Here's all the documents that came up during the Warren Commission investigation. Here, you can check it out for yourself, and you still feel the hype. So, but I do feel that the JFK movie did do something right, and that's release all the information, or make Congress release all the information they have of the Kennedy assassination. And that's the one good thing that came out of the movie. But the movie got so many facts wrong that it's really hard to do in one video. Every little thing that they came out as wrong. Especially saying that Oswald was a lousy shot. He was a very, very good shot. And the one shot they saying that he was a lousy shot was actually the last drill he had, his last attempt for recertification. That's why it came out as a bad test. The last test he did. Everybody can have a bad day at a shooting range. No matter if you have to be a police officer, or a Marine, or an army, or somebody in the Army, or the Navy, whatever. Anybody can have a bad day at the shooting range. And Oswald just happened to have a bad day. And that's the one test that everybody focuses on, that he was a lousy shot. And of course, one thing that they forgot, that they never mentioned in the JFK movie, was the fact that Oswald, back in April of 1963, he attempted to kill General Edwin Walker. And they left that whole fact out. Oliver Stone did. He left the whole fact out in the JFK movie, because he just focused on the assassination and all the conspiracy theories surrounding the assassination. And of course, the one big thing that everybody says there was a conspiracy was that 2 days later, when Oswald was transferred from the city jail to the central jail, or to the courthouse to be arraigned, he was killed by Jack Ruby. And because he was killed by Jack Ruby, that's why everybody thought, oh, it's the mob. Because they think it was the Cubans hired Oswald to kill Kennedy, and then the mob hired Jack Ruby to kill Oswald, so he wouldn't talk, or that the KGB sent him back. Even there was one KGB officer in my video of the JFK assassination shows, the Peter Jennings Beyond Conspiracy show. He says, "Hey, the KGB would never do such." And a former KGB agent said on that show, "Hey, we wouldn't do the old KGB. We wouldn't do it because it's too obvious. Because first recruit a U.S. Marine, bring him to Moscow, and then send him back to the United States with orders to kill. I mean, come on. It's too ridiculous. It's too obvious. It's too simple. It's too crazy. I mean, we won't do it because it'll be so easy to trace it back to us. It's stupid. And besides that, Oswald was a nobody. It was a ton, and he described Oswald as a ton movie. But Oliver Stone doesn't care anything about that stuff. He just wants to say, hey, look, the Cubans were involved, the Russians were involved, the mob was involved, and all these factions were involved in killing Kennedy. Well, the only thing that Oswald had nothing to do with, he had nothing to do with, there's no trace of him with the mob. The KGB didn't recruit him, and neither did the Cubans. I mean, of all the conspiracy, you can believe all the conspiracies you want, but you have to say, hey, okay, where's the proof that he was with the Cubans? Even Castro didn't admit, say, hey, why should I kill the president? If I did that, the United States would invade my country. Which, of course, it's what you know, what Castro wanted to avoid, despite all the crap of him releasing all the criminals in the jails and in the Cuban jails and came here. Even with that, he didn't want to kill Kennedy because he wanted to avoid all that stuff. Even though he knew the Kennedy brothers, John and Robert, were going after him. But I know I'm on a tangent here. But the JFK movie was, despite all the facts that got wrong, it was a well-made movie. I'm not saying it's not a well-made movie. I'm not saying it's not well acted. It's just that it got too many facts wrong that ruins the movie for me. And of course, in the 24 years since JFK's original theatrical release, more and more people have come out and saying, "Hey, Oliver Stone got his facts wrong, and his credibility as a filmmaker shot to hell." And of course, since then, I think Oliver Stone made only one good big movie after that, and that was, which is good controversial in itself, which is the World Trade Center movie. Which, I don't know, maybe sometime down the line I might do that, but in terms of JFK, he has absolutely like zero credibility after the JFK movie. I mean, 24 years later, because of all the facts he got wrong. Particularly with Oswald being a poor shot, they killed Kennedy, fired 3 shots in less than 6 seconds. Like Oswald was involved with the mob, with mafia, with the KGB, with the Cubans, as well as this one and that one. You know why? Because the reason why is because he did try to get endorsed with the hands-off Fair Play for Cuba committee, and even the Fair Play for Cuba committee didn't want to have anything to do with Oswald either. The Cubans didn't have anything. So how can he be a KGB agent if the KGB rejects him? But all of a sudden, didn't give a shit about that. He put all those facts in the movie, and of course, he got it all wrong. But the one thing that I do like about the JFK movie is the cast, the way it was filmed. That it is even though by the end of the film, your head will start spinning by all the conspiracy theories in the film. But it is a well-made movie, and of course, every November 22nd, the movie should be shown on television somewhere. But you'll go crazy with the conspiracy theories that's in this movie. Your head will start spinning. But I felt that the film itself was, it is a well-made movie. I mean, I'm not going to deny it's not a well-made movie because it is. But that's about it. That's about all I can say about this movie. That's well-made. I'm not saying that's a good movie because I can't say it was a great movie because all the facts were wrong. Now, I'm not saying that movies based on a true story cannot have facts wrong. It happens. But they should have it as accurate as humanly possible. But unfortunately, people like Oliver Stone who believe in the conspiracy theories is not going to get anything right. You want to have put all the conspiracy theories. This is what happened. This is because of this, and this, and not because of a lone gunman. And I feel that in the Quantum Leap episode of Lee Harvey Oswald, you should check that particular episode out where Al says, if Kennedy could be killed by a single gunman, what's there for the what can we say for the rest of us? You know. So that, but unfortunately, Oliver Stone did not go that way. He prefers to leave everybody with the conspiracy theories because it was killed because Kennedy was killed by by all these conspiracy theories, and that's it. Because or he didn't want to go into Vietnam, and then Johnson did, so then Johnson had him killed, or the KGB had him killed because Oswald was a KGB agent, or uh, Oswald was working for the CIA and was sent back to the United States to kill Oswald with the Russians, or the Cubans sent him in there to get even with the banging pigs, and that's what Oliver Stone wants you to believe, and not the actual facts. So that's my review of the movie, or my overview of the movie JFK. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And also you could check out all my videos on my YouTube channel on rowdyc.com. That's all on WDY.com. That's the homepage of the Rowdy Reviewer. And also you can check out his review of the JFK movie, plus the Lee Harvey Oswald episode of Quantum Leap. He did a great job on those videos. Suggest you check that out, plus all of his other content as well. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.